back to another video on the F1 Journal and to another qualifying review with the same result. Lewis Hamilton on pole position, beating Max Verstappen after qualifying scares. Two qualifying scares in Q2 after Vettel's crash and a post-session investigation. Verstappen beat Bottas to a front row start, with Sergio Perez starting ahead of Ricciardo in fourth. Hamilton took a dramatic pole position from the Russian Grand Prix despite a post-qualifying investigation and an early exit scare, while Max Verstappen beat Valtteri Bottas to the front row in an epic shootout. It was horrible, admitted Hamilton, having avoided a penalty despite being summoned to the stewards for alleged track limits. Hamilton, who can equal Michael Schumacher's tally of 91 F1 race wins this weekend, made it through to the final shootout by the skin of his teeth, only starting an all-important Q2 lap with 1 second to spare after Vettel's big Ferrari shunt led to a red flag, but then he dusted himself down to dominate. In Q3, Hamilton stormed clear of Bottas, who had the edge for most of the weekend, before improving again on his final lap, putting him well over half a second ahead of his teammate. Bottas was off colour when it mattered most, as Verstappen then pipped him with one of his best laps ever. The Red Bull star 5/10 slower than the pole sitter, but crucially on the front row for the second time this season. Verstappen and Bottas may have the edge over Hamilton at the start of the race, with both drivers set to start on the more durable mediums compared to Hamilton's softs, however. Perez secured fourth for Racing Point in a hectic shootout ahead of Renault's Daniel Ricciardo and Carlos Sainz in the McLaren, with Alex Albon the only 10th in the other Red Bull. Ferrari made it through to Q3. Leclerc, who made contact with Vettel's front wing after a spin on Q2 shunt, just missed out, while Vettel never looked likely, even before his crash at turn 4. Has the 95th pole of his career, although it was no means by an easy journey. Hamilton ultimately caught a controversy on his very first lap on the afternoon, running wide at turn 2, getting his time deleted before failing to return to the track in the correct manner. That's why he had to face the stewards, along with Grosjean, Magnussen and Latifi. However, no further action was taken. Hamilton running wide, but then indirectly getting into more trouble in Q2. After breaching track limits at the final corner on of his first lap, that segment on the medium tyres, Hamilton had his time deleted and Mercedes opted to swap him onto fresh rubber for one final lap at the end of Q2. Hamilton was comfortably up on a time which would see him progress, but as he made his way around the final sector, Vettel had a big crash on his lap which led to a red flag of the session. Leclerc ran over Vettel's front wing and barely avoided a major accident himself. That incident paused the Q2 clock with just 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining, meaning drivers who was 15th and without a time would have to get out of the pits and make their way to the start line before the time struck zero. Hamilton, who pitted for fresh softs, Mercedes also had to alter strategy, finding himself towards the back of a long queue in the pit lane, and there'd be further panic from inside the cockpit as he was being urged to overtake cars on what would have been a very rapid outlap. You've got to go, urged the usually calm Mercedes engineer Pete Bonington as Hamilton looked to give himself room out of the final corner. Somehow he made it to the line just by 1.25 seconds. Although his flying lap was badly disrupted thanks to the fast outlap, Hamilton safely made it through to the final shootout, and he was 0.7 seconds faster than Bottas in Q2. Verstappen also deserved huge credit for being ahead. Meanwhile, Perez solely and excellently for Racing Point, who lost Lance Stroll in Q2 after an issue. George Russell was also a qualifying scorer, securing his 6th Q2 of the season in the Williams and ensuring he's never been beaten on Saturday in his F1 career. And before I go, here's the final classification. Lewis Hamilton, of course, on pole. He'll be very happy after what was a really torrid session for him. Max Verstappen will be delighted to get ahead of Bottas, and what a lap he did. Bottas just not good enough, really. As for Perez, I was shocked to see him up there. I was expecting Ricciardo to be 4th, maybe even 3rd, so I don't know if Renault will be a bit disappointed. McLaren, I think, will be happy, as will Pierre Gasly. Very good job from him. Alex Albon, no, I don't know what happened there, but that just wasn't good enough. Charles Leclerc just didn't really have enough pace. He'll probably be happy to finish 11th. Kvyat didn't do a bad job. Stroll obviously got unlucky with the issue. Great job by Russell. Vettel, he just didn't really have enough, did he? Grosjean will be happy to finish ahead of his teammate, as will Giovinazzi. The last few will be disappointed though. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Remember to follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily F1 news, and subscribe to my other channels on the screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace!